game.
The creator of Final Fantasy, Hironobu Sakaguchi, left Square Enix 8 years ago to start his own company and create something new. Since then, we've had Lost Odyssey and Blue Dragon, and now we have The Last Story.
Has a familiar ring to it, doesn't it? The Last Story. It's almost like Sakaguchi wants to recall that magic from Final Fantasy and do it all again with something new.
Yeah, I wonder if, years from now we're going to end up with The Last Story 13-2.
You play as Zael, a young mercenary, one of a ragtag bunch, who one day dreams of becoming a knight.
I'll be a knight too one day, no matter what it takes.
He soon bumps into a young girl named Lisa, who is in fact a princess who'd rather be out adventuring than marrying some creepy lord for political purposes.
I get to marry someone I despise and then grow old trapped in that castle. Lucky me.
Your adventure will pit you against the nasty Guraks and their king, Zangurak, who looks like he could be the twin brother of Ganondorf from the Zelda series, to be honest. As simple as that setup sounds, the story actually has a fair bit of depth to it, with plays for power and mystical beasts and lots of other fun little subplots to take up your time as you explore the streets of Lazarus.
Ah, the streets of Lazarus. I had quite a bit of fun adventuring and pottering about there, Hex.
It's Lazarus.
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 I bought a banana. Did my best to stop a fight. Didn't start one.
What was that for?
Tried to save a little kitty cat. Chased some birds. Did a little dance. And watched some fireworks. I was a busy little guy.
Get out of here, you big perv!
No, I didn't mean to. Ow!
I thought those first few side missions were a little bit frivolous though. They're just fetch quests really, but it's not long before the game starts to pull you along from one big event to another.
Yeah, that adventuring is quite linear, but it works well as an engaging story. And the game just transports you from one location to the next without bothering to pad things around by making you travel there, and I do like that.
This place is just bursting with nature.
Did you like the British voice cast? I thought they were really great and they really endeared those characters to me. I mean, so many of the characters in games we're used to hearing have American accents, and I found this was a lot more charming.
Looks like we have a new client.
Woo! All right! Just as we're about to run out of money too.
Thanks to someone getting hammered all the time.
Shut it! I risked my life.
It's a really emotional little tale too, isn't it?
Yeah, in fact, there's this whole chapter which is just dedicated to the love story between Zael and Lisa. Complete with an awkward moment or two.
What's wrong, Zael?
Let's talk a bit about Zael. I mean, first of all, he looks like he could be a member of an 80s metal band. Zael has the unique ability to carry a crossbow as one of his weapons, which allows you to switch to first person a lot in this game.
Yes, you can switch to Seek mode, which lets you see the world from Zael's eyes. The game uses this to bring some interactivity to the cutscenes as you spot something important, or it lets you target things in order to command your party members to cast a spell at that location.
The pillar, not the reptiles. I see. I'll give it a shot.
Obviously, firing off arrows is something you do a lot in that mode, even if it's just to make someone slip on a banana peel, which I have to say is not something I ever thought I'd have to rely on in a battle.
This first-person mechanic is borrowed from Zelda, and it works quite well, except if you're playing with the nunchuck, which I was, and I just felt like every single time I wanted to aim at something, he'd be facing the wrong direction, and that was infuriating. It is better with the classic controller. I did like how you could get a bit of information about an enemy's weak spot in this mode, or pick off pesky spellcasters up the back of an enemy group with a well-placed wizard-busting arrow.
It seemed a bit silly in story moments though. The game would suddenly hand you control just so that you could turn the camera to look at something important in the room before continuing. I mean, that was kind of annoying, really.
Yeah, but The Last Story does try to innovate. This combat is really different from other RPGs. From the way it lets you first survey the battlefield from a bird's eye view, to how your character automatically strikes out with his weapon. This means you run up against enemies to attack them, and it's more about where you position yourself in a fight. And it reminded me of Dragon Age a little bit.
Yeah, it's more of an action-based RPG without all that endless button mashing. Instead, you use special powers like Gathering, which draws all of the aggro from all of the enemies at once, giving your party members time to cast their spells or get in behind. Or your whirlwind move, Gale, that disperses the magic your teammates have charged up, as well as making you dash across instantly to your chosen target.
That makes the boss fights interesting as well, such as how you can use Gale to disintegrate that webbing in that fight with the giant spider. In fact, I found the combat overall quite tactical and I enjoyed that. You can take cover behind objects and dash out for a deadly slash attack, or even switch to the paused command mode and order your teammates more specifically.
I found the combat got really messy a lot of the time.
Bit of a mess here, though.
When you use Gale and your character gets stuck on an object in the environment during his dash and your move is wasted. Ugh.
Yeah, that happened to me a few times too, but I kind of like messy. It's fun running about in these fights to avoid getting swarmed. And it makes sense they're giving your character 5 lives because it's so easy to screw up this combat.
I was a little bothered by the fact that the characters just level up automatically. There's not much to do other than equip a better weapon or change the color of your outfit.
Yeah, even the merchants are pop-up menus, but I don't mind that. I quite like the fast pace of it. It's all just wham bam. Thanks, ma'am. I don't know what's going on, Hex, but I'm really enjoying my JRPGs on the Wii, except they're on the Wii.
Come on, you're not going to go down the graphics path again. I mean, I agree this is not the best looking game, but you can't compare consoles. I mean, just accept the Wii for what it is, Barjo.
No, I want to enjoy these games, and I know we're spoiled for choice at the moment, and it isn't fair to compare consoles, but when you come from something like this,
They're in trouble.
to this,
Greetings, traveller. I am a wandering harmonica player.
I don't know, Hex, it's just getting harder and harder, and my real point isn't even about the hardware, it's just that it could be more beautiful than this, and it ends up being blotchy and low res and even a bit blurry at times.
Well, I know it's a little rough around the edges, but even so, I think it's still a fun romp. It keeps you intrigued, even if it never really hits any great heights.
There's something in the water.
I would have liked a bit more freedom to explore. It does feel a bit too scripted at times, but even so, this is a great RPG for the Wii, especially because it does something different and it does it well. So I'm giving it 8 out of 10 rubber chickens.
It's 7 from me.
Would you take me away with you? Anywhere. Right now.
What?